Hi everyone, welcome to Kitaabi Cabins. I am Kritika and we are in the month of October, so I thought this is a good time to review the Goodreads reading challenge. I've been doing this since 2019 and it serves as a good accountability check for me because sometimes life can really catch up and it comes in your reading way habits, at least it comes in mine. So I like to have an accountability check. Just a fair reminder that I wanted to read all these books, but either I'm succeeding or I'm not, then I can plan my reading accordingly. So let's deep dive into it directly. So first was Friends, Lovers and the Big Terrible Things by Matthew Perry, of course. I did not intend my year to start with this novel, but I was so curious to know who Matthew Perry was apart from being Chandler Bing, and I just wanted a background story of his life, and I deep dived into it. So that was my first read of the year. Then there was the book called Almond. Now there are certain books जिन्हें पढ़ते हुए आपको realize होता है कि this piece of text is supposed to make you feel something very significant, very important and concrete. There's this small child who has a brain disorder and who is not able to function properly because he cannot feel any sort of emotion, neither happiness, anger, fear, jealousy, nothing. So his mother and grandmother are trying to teach him how to navigate through life, how to read expressions, how to know that someone is lying to you or being sarcastic, or वो भी छोड़ दो, just to be scared of certain things कि if a bus is coming towards you, you need to step away. But I was not feeling it. Then there was It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I don't know. I'm just glad that it ended. There, I said it. Then there was Harry Potter. Harry Potter is cute. I read The Philosopher's Stone and मैं हर साल तो नहीं और पूरी book भी नहीं, but I do read a couple of chapters here and there in between. It's like my segue from heavy books to lighter books, or just like sandwiched between two very emotionally heavy books. It keeps the balance. Then there was 4 Seasons in Japan. I really enjoy books which have the intergenerational gap, like between a child or a grandparent or somebody around the grandparents' age. This book has it. There was one that I really like is also Universe vs. Alex Woods, and one more by Frederick Backman, Grandma Sends Her Regards and Apologies. I really enjoy this dynamic क्योंकि एक side of the picture is that somebody has so much to look forward to and they could feel anything about it. Either they could be excited or hopeful, full of faith, or they could be really anxious that, oh my god, I have so many years to live and how are these going to turn out? And the other side is sometimes cynical, sometimes very comforting that things just turn out the way they should be or they do, and you only have little control to play around. So I really like it gives a fine balance between the two parties. And then I read Meandering Sobriety. This is a very small book. मतलब आप एक sitting में से खत्म कर सकते हो. But you will be thinking about the book and its content for a long time. It's a very small, brain stimulating, I like to call it my little brain stimulating book. It talks about basically the narcissism of humans, like how obsessed we are on naming things, naming our feelings, naming the objects around us, naming animals, and how much importance we give to our own thoughts and how much we think about thinking. Then there was Norwegian Wood by, of course, Haruki Murakami. This book, first of all, took me so many years to get to this book. I don't know why. And I understand. मैंने बहुत लोगों को सुना ये बोलते हुए कि they wanted to start with Murakami and they picked this Norwegian Wood as the first Murakami they have ever read. And आधे लोग इस किताब को अधूरा छोड़ देते हैं. And even if they complete it, they don't understand the hype, like why do you like Murakami so much? After reading this book, I actually get it. I don't think Norwegian Wood is a starting point for Murakami. I think either some short stories, or books like Men Without Women, or novella maybe like After Dark, or if you want a full-fledged Murakami experience, then Kafka on the Shore is definitely a good starting point. And Kafka on the Shore, why? Because it has parallel storylines. उसमें जो story चल रही है आप already इतने invest हो जाओगे till the quote-unquote dysfunctional Murakami elements hit you that you actually, मतलब आपकी curiosity आपको वो book छोड़ने नहीं देगी despite the eccentricities that are happening. And by the time you finish it, you will be like, alright, I get it why people are so obsessed with Murakami. I have this diary where I keep jotting down all the music that Murakami mentions. I like how his brain thinks, how it functions, and how it can frame weirdly stories and make it convincing. इतना सब कुछ पढ़ने के बाद फिर आपको लगता है कि या थोड़ा सा तो कैरेक्टर डेप्थ देते थे अपनी नॉवेल्स की औरतों में. Then there was This Is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay. Adam Kay was a junior doctor and in UK, and he used to keep like little journal about all the experiences, and I was laughing out loud too in the night while reading this book. It is hilarious, and as hilarious as it is, it also gives you a lot of insight about the NHS and how the doctors are treated, the nursing staff is treated, and all the medical faculty. And it really is heartbreaking कि doctors हमारे लिए इतना कुछ करते हैं, but some of the conditions are really harsh. And he is a Brit. He has this dry, dark, sarcastic humor. If you are able to make me laugh on text, you are funny. Adam Kay is one of them. Then there was Stoner by John Williams. Top read of the year. No matter what I read next, this has surpassed. ये book मेरे ज़हन से निकल नहीं पा रही है. I read it months ago and I keep thinking about it. And the more I think about it, the more it makes me anxious and worried and confident and comfortable about life. The book it's a very normal story. हर किसी की ज़िंदगी होती है ऐसी, आपकी मेरी हम सब की ज़िंदगी होती है. You go to a school, whatever, you think that you're going to pursue something or not. आपको लगता है कि अरे हम तो यही पढ़ना चाहते हैं. Sometimes you go ahead and pursue your interests and sometimes you don't. Quoting the line from Monterey, जहाँ नहीं आना था हम वहीं चले आए. And whatever, अब आपके कई रास्ते बन सकते हैं ज़िंदगी के, हर किसी के बनते हैं. You go ahead, get married, have children, blah blah blah. That's it. That's the premise of the book. But the writing and just the approach towards Stoner's life is so profound. What is profound is this is a seemingly unremarkable life and there are so many lessons to draw from it. हर किसी को ये किताब पढ़नी चाहिए. Every reader and every writer should definitely read this book. I'm actually going to read out a couple of lines for you. मतलब इस बुक की मैं हज़ारों लाइन आपके लिए पढ़ सकती हूँ, बट मैं अभी 2-3 ही पढ़ देती हूँ. In his 43rd year, William Stoner learned what others, much younger, had learned before him, that the person one loves at first is not the person one loves at last, and that love is not an end but a process through which one person attempts to know another. Then there is another one. You must remember what you are and what you have chosen to become, and the significance of what you are doing. There are wars and defeats and victories of the human race that are not military and that are not recorded in the annals of history. Remember that while you are trying to decide what to do. Stoner Williams, it made me realize the importance of making decisions at the right time. और स्टोनर बनने के बाद मुझे हर किसी में स्टोनर दिखता है. उसकी अच्छाइयाँ दिखती हैं किसी में उसकी खामियाँ दिखती हैं. और ज़िंदगी में आप जितने लोगों से मिले होगे ना, हर किसी के बिट्स एंड पीसेस स्टोनर में. आप प्लीज़ पढ़िए इस किताब को. Then there was The Winners, which is the third book of the Beer Town series. Frederick Backman के बारे में मैंने ऑलरेडी बहुत बातें की हैं. बहुत ही प्यारे राइटर. One thing that really surprised me about him is कि मुझे लगता था ये बहुत बड़े होंगे. I don't watch interviews or I don't read much about the authors that I like. मुझे सिर्फ उनकी किताबें पढ़नी है, मुझे नहीं जानना their views on politics and feminism. तो मैंने कुछ नहीं सुना था फेडरिक बैकमैन के बारे में, and I thought कि ये बहुत बड़े होंगे, इनके ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन भी होंगे, because he can encapsulate all the emotions, family, betrayal, love and hatred and failure and what not. But he's just 41 or 42. One more surprise by Backman. The Winner's third book है Beer Town series की. You can pick anything by him. A Man Called Ove or Anxious People. Then there was A Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion. This is a grief encapsulated in a small book containing the tragedies of life. बहुत ही खूबसूरत तरीके से लिखा हुआ, क्योंकि फर्स्ट हैंड एक्सपीरियंस किया हुआ ग्रीफ है. अबाउट हर फैमिली, अबाउट हर हस्बैंड एंड डॉटर, एंड शी herself is a writer of course, so she was able to put down all the emotions in a much articulated manner, जो हम लेमैन लोग कर पाएंगे कभी। देन देयर वाज अमृता इमरोज बाय उमा त्रिलोक। तो ये कहानी ड्यूरिंग द लेटर स्टेजेस ऑफ अमृता है। अमृता इमरोज की कहानी बहुत लोगों को पता होगी, अगर नहीं पता है तो देयर आर सो मच मटीरियल ऑफ देयर स्टोरी ऑन यूट्यूब एंड आई गॉट obsessed with their stories, with all the angles, how Sahil Ludhianvi and the poetry they used to write each other, letters they used to write each other. And then Amrita Imroz की कहानी, मतलब this is a true testament of the thought कि some people are so ahead of the time and so ahead in the approach of their life that it actually takes a generation or two to catch up to them. मतलब ये कहानी, इनके love letters हम इतने warmth के साथ accept कर लेते हैं, but of course when the story was being lived, obviously इतना acceptance नहीं था by the society. Then there was the department of speculation, which was also a book a month. My worst and my most significant fears as a woman are just laid down in this book. The best part about the book was that this narrator has this view about married women or relationships and how much time it consumes of your life. It talks about a thing जिसकी बहुत ज़्यादा लोग बात नहीं करते हैं, that it actually consumes your time and energy, and how women cannot be art monsters because there's no time to create art. You are so occupied in the emotions and just the nitty-gritties of handling a relationship कि आपको अपने लिए समय नहीं बचता, अपनी hobbies या work के लिए बहुत कम समय बचता है. And of course this is a very niche topic to pick up, but बहुत ही अच्छे से लिखा हुआ है. और पहली बुक है जिसमें मैंने देखा कि it starts with the first person narrative कि I did this, I like this, I'm writing this book, etc. etc. And then when certain things happen in her life, she sort of disconnects and the book switches to a third person narrative, like she is doing this. It happens with us also that कभी-कभी you're so occupied in the situation and overwhelmed by it that you start seeing yourself from a distance, like ये क्या कर रही हूँ मैं, इसे क्यों behave कर रही हूँ मैं. And like the narration shifts when a significant change happens in a relationship. और बहुत ही छोटी किताब है, धीरे धीरे अगर आप पढ़ना चाहें तो. Then there was The Glass Castle by Janet Walls. If you think that you're facing any difficult situation, आप ये किताब उठाइएगा. ये किताब it will prove you that humans can actually survive anything, the wilderness, the irresponsibilities, the flaws in the society and government and its rules. मतलब ये कहानी 3-4 बच्चों की है और उनके मम्मी पापा की हैं. जेनेट being one of the 3-4 बच्चा, उनका मेमोir है ये. She appreciates hippie life attitude of her parents at a young age, जब वो बहुत छोटी हैं, but then she realized कि नहीं, ऐसे तो काम नहीं चलेगा, like it is getting in our way, we are always hopping cities, hopping schools, and she's not able to find the sthirta in her life. It's her journey how to get out of it and try to make it on her own. बहुत ही अच्छी किताब है. मतलब कुछ किताबें आपको they remind you of another piece of art. like इस बुक को पढ़ के मुझे एक अयोध्या सिंह उपाध्याय रियोद की एक पोएम याद आई, विच इज कॉल्ड एक बूंद बनी पानी. पॉइंट ऑफ द पोएम है इसकी एक बूंद है जो बादलों से निकल गई है और वो बहुत स्केयर्ड है कि अब क्या होगा, लाइक मैं नीचे गिर जाऊंगी, धूल में मिल जाऊंगी, किसी कमल के फूल पे जाके गिर जाऊंगी, या कोई कहीं आग जल रही होगी वो मुझे निगल लेगी. एंड द बूंद which of course is a metaphor, वो बहुत डरी हुई है, घबराई हुई है, मेरा क्या होगा. एंड देन सडनली एक हवा का झोंका आता है और उस बूंद को दूर ले जाता है और एक समंदर के पास एक सीप बना होता है और वो उसमें जाके मिल जाती है. एंड इट टर्न्स आउट टू बी अ मोती. एंड इट जस्ट लाइक अ वेरी whimsical रिमाइंडर. समटाइम्स यू थिंक कि जहाँ नहीं आना था हम वही चला आए, बट इट टर्न्स आउट सो ब्यूटिफुली इन हाइंडसाइट एंड रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव दैट यू स्टार्ट लाइकिंग इट. मैं पोएम की 1-2 लाइन पढ़ देती हूँ. ज्यों निकल कर बादलों की गोद से थी अभी एक बूंद कुछ आगे बढ़ी, सोचने फिर यही मन में लगी, आह क्यों मैं घर छोड़कर यूं बढ़ी. एंड देन शी इज स्कैर्ड कि मैं बचूंगी या मिलूंगी धूल में, या जलूंगी गिर अंगारे पर किसी, चूं पड़ूंगी या कमल के फूल में. बह गई उस काल कुछ ऐसी हवा, वह समुंदर और आई अनमनी, एक सुंदर सीप का मुंह था खुला, वह उसी में जा पड़ी मोती बनी. My father sent me this poem when I was moving out of home and I keep going back to it. इसके अलावा I read 3 plays also, which was a विज्ञान शाकुंतलम, आधे अधूरे and आषाढ़ का एक दिन. मैंने उस पर एक वीडियो भी बनाई है, all the Indian plays that you can read. Do check that out. Reading challenge, it can be a motivating way to stay consistent with reading. And अगर आप पढ़ लेते हो तो अच्छा भी लगता है. It's like a little achievement कि मैंने इतनी किताबें पढ़ ली. Because there's so much to read and of course we have limited time and resources. तो हम जितनी किताबें पढ़ना चाहते हैं, हम कितनी भी कोशिश कर लें नहीं पढ़ पाएंगे. So sometimes थोड़ा conscious हमेशा से वर्ड चाहिए होता है कि नहीं, अगर पढ़ना है तो यू नीड टू टेक आउट टाइम, और वो टाइम, जगह, वो सब हर किसी को अपने हिसाब से सॉर्ट आउट करनी पड़ेगी। अभी जो 2 किताबें मैं पढ़ रही हूँ, एक तो ये है द लाइफ इम्पॉसिबल बाय मैट हेग व्हिच इज इन प्रोग्रेस, एंड द अदर वन वाज द लिटिल लाइफ। ओ गॉड, मेरा कोटि कोटि नमन उन सबको जो अ लिटिल लाइफ एक बारी में पढ़ पाए। इट गॉट सो इमोशनली ओवरवेलमिंग फॉर मी कि मैंने उसको हॉल्ट दे दिया है, पॉज दे दिया है। आई विल गो बैक टू इट आफ्टर अ व्हाइल। पढ़ लूंगी ये साल खत्म होने से पहले। द लाइफ इम्पॉसिबल इज क्यूट एंड मेरा मन कर गया दैट आई शुड रियली गो फॉर ट्रैवलिंग। दिस इज एक्चुअली अ ट्रैवल रीड। अगर आपको कहीं ऐसे बीच पे बैठ के कोई किताब पढ़नी है, दिस इज सॉर्ट ऑफ दैट बुक। डू लेट मी नो व्हाट यू आर रीडिंग currently. 1, what is your comfort read? 2, and what do you want to read before the year ends? Please give me those 3 books down in the comments, and thank you for watching it till here, and I will see you next time. Thanks.